If you were to tell me that in the year of our Lord, 2024, that a movie about Winnie the Pooh being a psychopathic killer with his friends, murdering thousands of people, would have a better story, script, acting, and CGI than a Marvel movie, I'd probably poo myself. Yeah, that viewership fall off is gonna be crazy. So yeah, they made a sequel about that one horror movie where Winnie the Pooh is a murdering maniac and kills a bunch of girls, and it looked like this.
Oh, let her go. I'll stay with you forever. Take me instead.
Now, I know the title of this video is the best comeback in film history, but let me go ahead and clear the air here. This movie is not perfect by any means. There are still lots of flaws and issues with the movie, but we'll get into why this is the greatest comeback ever. While I really don't want this video to be a just comparison review from the first movie to this one, it's kind of hard to leave that out because it's such a monumental jump from what we had a year or two ago to what we have now, and it is easily one of the most impressive things about the sequel. I mean, just look at this compared to something like this. It's a pretty big difference. Rather than categorizing this by acting, story, blah, 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 I'm gonna go ahead and get all that good stuff out of the way first. Then we'll talk about some of the issues I have with the movie. And then we're gonna talk about my favorite thing about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, the Puniverse. Alright, so let's go and get the obvious out of the way. The CGI in this movie, like, for some reason actually holds up. Not to compare these movies to each other, but when a movie like this or Godzilla -1 comes out with such a small budget that they have, and their CGI looks absolutely amazing, it really makes you think, what the heck are these comic book movies doing with their $200 million budget and pumping out things that look like this? And right next to the CGI is the practical effects, because oh my gosh, this is like going from bat nips to Christian Bale. Not only the costumes and the makeup looked great, but the kills and the sets also looked fantastic. Such a huge upgrade from the first one. Side note, for some reason our projector in our theater was like really dim, and so it was kind of hard to see. I'm not really sure if that was a part of the movie or if that was just the theater we went to, but it did kind of make some things difficult to see. Next up, I really need to talk about the acting, because what an upgrade. Scott Chambers, who plays Christopher Robin, put his entire Robin-nessy into this role. He actually did a really good job with what was given to him. Same goes for pretty much all the side characters. I mean, obviously you have your faults here and there. Some people are not as great as others, but for the most part, it was believable, unlike the first movie where everything seemed fake and just like nothing was put together right. Something that really pisses me off, it makes me so mad about movies, are horrible child actors.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
But for some reason, this movie, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, had better child actors than any AAA movie I have watched in probably the past 5 years. Something that the sequel did differently than the first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is there was actually like a story that you could follow, and you can tell they want to keep making movies based on this storyline. The first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey had just a story that felt tangled. You had no idea what was going on. I mean, obviously he's there to just kill the people at the lodge, but that was pretty much it. It felt like there was just nonsense thrown everywhere, whereas this one, there felt more of a structure. Even though not everything was perfect, it felt more structured and organized. You can tell they're wanting to build up this little Puniverse that they're building and make a coherent story that maneuvers between each and every movie. Now, while the story was pretty cool, I think the best part of it is how this sequel played off the entire first movie and wrote it out of the universe. And let me just say this, I have never seen any movie do this before, or at least do it this well. Rather than just completely writing off the second movie, they actually used it as documentary footage that showed the events leading up to the sequel movie, which I think is absolutely genius, and whoever came up with that idea, you deserve a raise. But the crazy part is I haven't even gotten to the best thing about this documentary, and I'm not joking when I say this. During the documentary, Winnie the Pooh deadass looks straight into the camera and goes, "It's pooing time." I mean, what's better writing than that right there? I mean, that's a 10 out of 10. The last thing I'll say before we move on to the bad of this movie is another one of my favorite parts that happened is Tigger was introduced into the sequel, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, this one that I'm obviously talking about right, never mind. Every time that he kills somebody at the rave/dance scene party, he either calls them a bitch or a whore, and then just absolutely decimates them. I didn't know I needed that in my life. Now, while I did throw the story as the good part of the movie back there in the video, I will say at sometimes it can be pretty meh, and it didn't stick very well. There was like this big twist that happened halfway in the movie, and you know, nobody expected it, but because it took so long for them to explain it, the scene felt entirely too dragged out, and we all had figured it out in the first like 10 seconds. And so I just sat there like, why are we still here? It was a lot of yapping and not enough killing, Mr. Pooh. Sort of piggybacking off of that, I will say some parts of the movie, the pacing was kind of slow, or it was either way too fast, and I would have really liked to see Pooh and the gang, you know, brutally murder some more people. I have issues. On the side note of me talking about the bad in this movie, I don't want people to think that I'm just trying to chastise and tear down this indie studio and that they're horrible at their jobs. As a matter of fact, I really want to see them succeed. Now, if you've never watched the first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, there are a lot, and I mean a lot of criticisms that go into that movie, and rather than the studio shutting down after seeing all the hate, they actually took that, ran with it, and made a better movie, and for that I gotta give them mad respect. I wish more studios would do that and listen to the fans and the criticisms they have, rather than just looking at dollar signs and chasing after that. So before we get to the last segment, the Puniverse, I want to shout out Jagged Edge Productions for making this movie and this entire little Puniverse that I'm talking about. You guys are great. I think that they are a cool little indie studio that are just having fun, and I appreciate y'all. What's the Avengers? Who is the Justice League? All I know is the Puniverse. That's right. Earlier this year, the creators of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey announced that they're going to be creating a twisted childhood. I just swallowed a bug. Earlier this year, the creators of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey announced that they are going to be making a cinematic universe involving all of our favorite childhood movies called the Twisted Childhood Universe. Yeah, so that lovable dear Bambi that you all remember and love, Pinocchio, Peter Pan, you know, our favorite childhood movies, yeah, murdering psychopaths. They actually just released a sneak peek for the new Bambi the Reckoning movie that's going to be coming out, I think, later this year. And while it was just a small little snippet of it, it definitely looks like it has potential. So far, they have announced Pinocchio Unstrung, Bambi the Reckoning, and Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare. I need to know who is coming up with these names, because I didn't have anything else to say. Now, while some people probably think this is just a little money grab, they're gonna get some people, hey, you wanna watch your favorite childhood? Turn it to like, she's eating grass, my dog's eating grass. Now, while some people might think this is just a little cash grab, I'm low-key pretty excited about it. Mainly just to see this studio get better and better at making their movies. Honestly, after seeing the first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I had little to no hopes that the sequel would be good at all. I thought it was going to be absolute garbage, but I am so happy to have been proved wrong.
Oh my god.
While the movie definitely has its faults and its criticisms, it's great really to see a studio listen to the fans and take that criticisms and make a better movie. I mean, I can name maybe like 1 or 2 studios that have actually done that and listened to their fans and audience to make what they want. Now listen, don't get me wrong, sometimes that is an awful idea. I'm talking to you, Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Universe, especially Zack Snyder fans. You guys, please don't ever write any script in your life ever. The main thing I really wanted to relay to you, the viewer, is that, yeah, while this movie is not perfect, it's definitely got things that it needs to be improved on. It's more impressive to see this studio make something so great after making such a stupid first movie. I'm talking, it was bad. Like, it was really bad. But they got tons of hate for it, and then they continue to make movies and get them better and better to the point where they're making a damn cinematic universe. Now I could sit here for 30 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, just trying to rip apart this movie and say every single bad thing about it like I did the first one. But seeing the improvement that they have gained from the first one to this one has gained my respect. Super excited to see what they bring to us in the future, especially with all the new up-and-coming movies they have out. Definitely go watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, and if you haven't, go watch the first one and then watch the second one to see how much better it's gotten. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it. It's been a little bit since I've made a video, but I got a new camera and I got a new microphone. So, gonna be making some more content now. Super excited. I actually went outside for this one. There were people here. I was terrified. But thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Next videos are coming out soon, and I look forward to hearing what y'all have to say in the comments.
Shit, Graham, there's a yellow jacket.
There's a yellow jacket. Gotta go. Bye-bye. I said proved.
Oh, I thought you meant like Winnie the Pooh, like poo.
I'll throw that in there. How about this? Ready? I'm so happy to have been proved wrong.
Oh my god.